I'm John White. Today we're going to be taking some letters from the mailbag, and this is for the southern part of the state, so this is going to pertain to our lower half of the state. And one of the first ones is a letter, Dear Southwest Yard and Garden. I have a pear tree in my yard and I'm showing some dieback on the tree, and a lot of my fruit has turned black, just like it was hit by a torch. Do you have any idea what this might be? And this is from Rosalind in Las Cruces. And Rosalind, what you probably have is fire blight. And fire blight usually is, just by its name, looks like a scorching of the tree where somebody's taken a blowtorch to it and hit it. Unfortunately, it probably really ran rampant on the tree last year, and it's just now showing up as the tree's beginning to die back. You can see how black this stem is, and the mummified fruit that's on the end here, it didn't form, it just kind of blackened as if it was hit by a torch. This is a bacterial disease. It can be spread by pruning tools. A lot of times rain, high moisture will really get the bacteria growing good, and it can move on the tree by other means, but usually pruning tools are one of the big culprits in spreading fire blight. So we want to make sure that if this is pruned off, and that's probably one of the best controls, is to go ahead and prune this off. We want to take our pruning tool, clip this branch off, disinfect the tool either with alcohol or a 10% Clorox solution. We want to try and make the cut below any darkened area. So all this area here is blackened off pretty bad. Move the tag off, you can see it's died down right to the joint here. So we can try and make that cut in the joint, but more than likely there's still going to be some tissue there. So this particular tree, it might require having to take the whole head off the tree and then allowing other branches to come out and reform it. But this may be a variety of pear that is very, very susceptible to fire blight, and you want to stay away from those and go with the varieties that are more resistant to fire blight. So hopefully that'll help you out with what's happening with your pear tree. Okay, our second letter is Dear Southwest Yard and Garden. I have a Boliana Poplar in my yard. It is developing a lot of sprouts on it. Is there anything I can do for the sprouts at the base of the tree? And this is from John in Roswell. And John, unfortunately, with poplars, they are, especially Boliana Poplar, that's a common problem with them. They do send up a lot of root suckers, a lot of root shoots. Okay, here in the container we have a tree that has a lot. This is a poplar. It has a lot of sprouts on it. You can see it has kind of a funny base on it, and this is probably from a girdled root situation, which is real common on poplars also. But these shoots need to be cut off at the point of origin. So if they come out a ways and then come up out of the ground, you need to kind of clear the ground away and find out where that sprout is coming out at and make that cut real clean there. So if you just clip them off on the top here, they're just going to have a tendency to put even more sprouts out, so it just gets thicker and thicker. So you really want to take these off at the very base. There are some sucker preventers that are sold. You need to check around with some of the local nurseries, garden centers in your area and see if they do have it, but I know there are some sucker preventers available, and these are growth regulators that prevent the sucker growth on it, so those would be good to use. As far as fruit trees do have a different root stock, so the roots are actually different than the top part of the tree, so they've been grafted onto a root stock, and a lot of times the compatibility between the root stock and the top may not be just perfect, and the root stock may tend to want to grow faster than the top part, and a lot of times it'll put out shoots. Sometimes if the tree is not planted correctly and some of the rootstock is actually not in the ground but kind of out of the ground, that allows sunlight to hit it, and a lot of times you will start to get shoot growth off of it. So these shoots here, you need to follow them back where they originate at and cut them off at that point. You want to be careful about using growth regulators on fruit trees unless they are specifically labeled for use on those. So best thing is just to come back to the point of origin and clip them off.